Alright, you guys, you ready for the review? I'm going to be reviewing a test I got to take tomorrow. It's on fuel metering. Yeah. My baby girl Ava's going to be hanging out with us in the background talking. She's going to be, she's right here and she'll be listening. You guys will be listening. We're going to be talking about fuel metering and I don't know about float carburetors or direct fuel injection. I don't think we're going to talk about direct fuel injection, just fuel injection into the intake. I guess it's called direct. It's not like a car, this is for aviation. But anyway, here we go. Let's see, let me load up this program. The study, I'll just be reading the questions and then answering them. Alright, let's get logged in here. Yep, that. And we are getting ready. There we go. Alright. Alright, you ready? A reciprocating engine automatic mixture control responds to changes in air density caused by changes in, I believe the answer is altitude or temperature. Let's see. Yep. Alright, next question is has like has two statements, and only first statement is true, only second statement is true, or only both statements true. Alright. The mixture used at rated power, I've done this test so many times that I know that they're both true. So the mixture used at rated power in air-cooled reciprocating engines is richer than the mixture used through the normal cruising range. I'm going to say it's true. Number 2, the mixture used at idle in air-cooled reciprocating engines is richer than the mixture used at rated power. I'm going to say both number 1 and number are true. Alright, it was. Alright, next question. To determine the float level, oh, there's a vent back there. Oh, back there. I just seen it. I could see the camera and the image and everything displayed, but I don't know, it looks pretty cool. Where the air conditioning and heat comes out of. Anyway, there's a refrigerator. See if I'm pointing that way. Point that way. All right, and baby girl's down here chilling, playing with a baby giraffe. A stuffed animal giraffe. All right. To determine the float level in a float type carburetor, a measurement is usually made from the top of the fuel in the float chamber to the, I'm going to say, there's 3 choices here. Parting surface of the carburetor. I'm going to say that answer because, like I said, I took this test. Well, it's not a test, it's like a review type thing. I did it like, there's 96 questions. I've done it like 2-3 times. I didn't do all 96 each and every time. Last time I did all 96, but usually I do like 40 or 50. Yep. Alright, next question. On an engine equipped with a pressure type, I guess it is pressure type carburetor type stuff and regular carburetors and fuel injection stuff. Alright, yeah. She's drinking her bottle. On an engine equipped with a pressure type carburetor, fuel supply in the idling range is ensured by the inclusion in the carburetor of, let's see, a spring in the unmetered fuel chamber to supplement the action of normal metering forces. I'm going to say it's that one. Yep, alright. What occurs when a back suction type mixture control is placed in the idle cutoff? Now, granted, I just did all 96 questions earlier, so it's kind of like a, this is in general when you're taking tests or whatever, it's and they're multiple choice, or a lot of it's just recognition. Okay, I recognize that those words, that sentence, I recognize those words as the answer, you know. Let's see, the fuel path, I can just look at the answers and realize which one's right and not even know what the heck it means, you know. Let's see, the fuel passages to the main and idle jets will be closed by a valve. See, I don't, that's the next one. The next one I recognize because I've seen the word negative pressure in it. The float chamber will be vented to a negative pressure area. That's the right answer, so click. Alright, next question. This is like secrets on passing tests, the way to study. That'll be the title of my video. The way to study. How to study for a test. Alright. You study a lot. That's what you do. You know the material and you go over and over and over and over and over again. It's like riding a bike or tying your shoes. You do it over and over and over. It's like anything. Over and over and over again. Yeah. And then you get good at it. Hey. That's how. Yeah. Alright. Don't you hate it when like someone knows how to do something and then you never done it before and then you do it and then they laugh at you because they see that you gotta learn, that they see your learning period of doing it. I hate that when people act like that. It's like, come on man, I've never done it before. Jeez. Anyway, what is the relationship between the accelerating pump and the enrichment valve and the pressure injection carburetor? Relationship between, there is no relationship since they operate independently. Recognition. Alright. One purpose of an air bleed in a float type carburetor is to decrease fuel density and destroy surface tension. The air bleed lets air into the fuel and it just decreases the density, because I guess something about let's see, dry air weighs more than humid air, whatever. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. One purpose of air bleed in a float type carburetor is to decrease fuel density, and when the air goes in there, it destroys surface tension. Theoretically. I just talked about the next question. That's funny. The density, oh, sorry about my teeth, you know, I've grinded them for like my whole life, whatever, at night and throughout the day sometimes. And so they're, the top are kind of, they're all like, I think it's like a, I don't know if it's like an evolutionary type thing or like a genetic whatever or something, but it's kind of like a benefit slash bad thing, because the benefits of not, like, my bottom are just, they're good, they're just a little smaller than usual. And the top, they're all jaggedy and, I mean, they're a little yellow or whatever, but that's 28. I'm going to be 28 here in a couple days. But they're really sharp, like really sharp. They're like fine to the point, like back in dinosaur days, like well, not dinosaur days, freaking there's animals today or whatever that grind their teeth and it makes them really sharp or whatever. I think sharks or something like that. I'm not sure, but some type of animal out there, a human animal, but it makes it really sharp or whatever, and it's pretty cool. But the downside is they're really thin. It's teeth sensitivity, I guess. But anyway, the density of air is very important when mixing fuel and air to obtain a correct fuel to air ratio. Which of the following weighs the most? 100 parts of dry air. The rest of them are like 75 parts of dry air and 25 parts of water vapor. And you can click on show explanation or whatever, and it talks about how I haven't clicked on it yet, but dry air, it says dry air. What's it mean? Like nitrogen, oxygen, all that stuff, like 75% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, whatever, whatever, the 1% argon, blah blah blah. Water, I guess hydrogen, oxygen weigh less than, whatever. I'll click on the explanation. Water vapor weighs only about 5/8 as much as dry air. Therefore, 100 parts of dry air will weigh more than any other choices given with this question. It doesn't really tell you much. It doesn't even go into like the chemical explanation, the elements and whatever. It doesn't. This is kind of like a mechanic, someone that has like a lot of mechanical skills, but they don't really have the theoretical background or know-how or knowledge of how it actually works or whatever. At least down to like the physical level, but you know, do what you want. But okay, 100 parts are there. If the main air bleed of a float type carburetor becomes clogged, the engine will run. I'm not even going to look at the answer. Let's see, the engine will run rich. So, rich at rated power or rich at idling. Rich at rated power. The main air bleed doesn't take an effect. There's not enough air going through the venturi. They're at idle. There's an actual whole idle system, whatever, that sucks, like the low pressure sucks the air and through out the idle mixture control or idle valve, whatever. But there's a little hole above. It's near the throttle. I can't remember if it's before or after. It's after. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, alright, rich at rated power. Which method is commonly used to adjust the level of a float in a float type carburetor? Add or remove shims under the needle valve seat. Recognition. It's all recognition. It's like knowledge and recognition. Oh, I'm learning. On a float type carburetor, the purpose of the economizer valve is to, it's something about cruising. The word cruising's in there. I remember that. It's about at cruising speeds. It either enriches the mixture, because as you go up in altitude, there's less molecules in the air, so there's less oxygen, and you want fuel air. There's less air, so it's gonna so it'd be enriched since there's less air. I'm on the right track. So it's going to add air. Let's just see what it says. Maintain the leanest mixture possible during cruising best power. Maintain the leanest mixture. Okay. It's going to decrease the fuel and like try to get the most oxygen, and the valves, the throttle is going to be open the most, letting air. But the mixture control is going to be just more air than fuel. Oh, I'm wrong. C. Provide a richer mixture and cooling at maximum power output. And the economizer system, also called it, this is the explanation, also called a power enrichment system, provides additional fuel at full power operation to remove some of the excess heat from the cylinders. This system is called an economizer system because it allows an economical operation at conditions other than full power. The purpose of the economizer valve is to, I may be thinking of something else, but the word economizer valve kind of got to me. It provide a richer mixture and cooling at maximum power. The maximum power output, they're going really fast, the maximum full throttle, whatever. A richer mixture. I guess it's not, I was thinking of altitude. I guess it has nothing to do with altitude. Anyway, if a float type carburetor becomes flooded, the condition is most likely caused by a leaking needle valve and seat assembly. Alright, under which of the following conditions would an engine run lean even though there is a normal amount of fuel present? Incomplete fuel vaporization. Recognition. Alright. Some of these questions we're not going to be tested on because we're only doing reciprocating engines, and we're not going to be doing turbine engines. That's a couple weeks from now. We'll be doing turbine engines. But anyway, in a supervisory EEC system, any fault in the EEC that adversely affects engine operation. EEC system, some kind of computer type electronic crap. But I remember this. I did this earlier. Cause an immediate reversion to control by the hydromechanical fuel control. I'm pretty sure that's turbines. Okay. On a carburetor without an automatic mixture control, as you ascend to altitude, the mixture will. Let's just try to think this. Let's just try to think this out. All right. On a carburetor, and you're going to be, when you're taking a test, you're going to be doing this in your head. So, and you can move your arms around a little bit, but you won't be like that, because people beside you are like, what the hell is he doing? It will distract you with or whatever. But anyway, on a carburetor with an automatic mixture control, as you ascend to altitude, the mixture will, you'd think it would let's see, there's less oxygen, so it'll be enriched. Let's see, I'm just gonna say it doesn't have a mixture control to supplement. That's not the right word. To supplement to, like, oh hey, look, it's getting the little sensors or whatever, or the mixture control. Hey, there's too much fuel going through here. You have to probably operate some pressures or something like that. There's too much pressure in here. You need to let more air. You need to let more air through, so open the throttle a little bit. You know, it's just mechanical crap and sensors. So be enriched. Oh, that's right. Alright. When trimming a turbine engine, skip. We'll just do it anyway. The fuel control is adjusted to allow the engine to produce. I don't know. Your explanation. B. Set idle RPM maximum speed for EPR. You only know what EPR means. Alright. What carburetor component actually limits the desired maximum airflow to the engine at full throttle? Remember, the teacher was like, I don't really believe this, whatever, but if the answer is Venturi, whatever, Venturi, it has a limit to how much airflow can go through it. So what carburetor component actually limits the desired maximum airflow to the engine at full throttle? I mean, there's only so much molecules can go through a given area. When the airflow flows through the small opening, like the small, like you're going up, and then the venturi is a little skinnier part, and then it gets wider. The venturi is that skinny part. It's like any like plumbing or whatever, and the airflow will go. It'll increase in velocity when it gets to that skinny part. For some reason the molecule is going to move faster when it gets to a skinnier part, and then that increase in velocity is the same thing as saying a decrease in pressure. It's an inverse relationship, something to do with molecules or whatever. So they act. So the decrease, what happens is the decreased pressure sucks the air and the fuel in the middle of the throttle valve, and then like before the throttle valve is this little I don't know, little pee hole, and it has fuel, and it sucks the fuel out. That's how the fuel gets out. So it's like a, I don't know, I don't want to say pneumatic, but it's just a mechanical process. It sucks, uses pressure to suck the fuel, and air is already flowing through, so the throttle regulates that. Anyway, venturi. The metered fuel pressure, chamber C, this is the pressure type carburetor. There's like 4. This is like, it has the venturi or whatever. It has the venturi, like, let's see right here, and then it has all this crap on the side. Let's stay over here on the side. There's like all this crap. It's a little bit more complicated than a regular carburetor, and then a float type carburetor. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. The meter fuel pressure, chamber C, and an injection type carburetor. The C chamber is held constant throughout the entire engine operating range. It's the metered part. I'm gonna click on the explanation so I can explain it more. Metered fuel pressure in chamber C of a pressure injection carburetor is held constant by a constant pressure discharge valve. This pressure acts as a reference pressure. The total metering force is made up of the air metering force across the air diaphragm between chambers A and B, and the fuel metering force across the fuel diaphragm between chambers C and D. The fuel metering force is a balance between the unmetered but regulated fuel pressure in chamber D. You following along? Because I'm not, because I'm reading this too fast. And the metered fuel pressure in chamber C, which is held constant throughout the engine operating range. I mean, I can understand if I read that fast or whatever, but I'm kind of looking back and forth or whatever. So, let's see. It's there. The answer is there. All right. Next. Oh, went too far. All right. The metered fuel pressure chamber. The active clearance control ACC. Yeah, we didn't go over this. I believe this is turbine engines. Portion of an EEC system aids turbine engine efficiency by I'm just gonna pick anything. Ensuring turbine blades and engine case clearances are kept to a minimum by controlling case temperature. Alright. Well, I know the answer is backfiring for this one. Which of the following is least likely to occur during operation of an engine equipped with a direct cylinder fuel injection system? Least likely to occur. Direct cylinder, kind of what you have in your car. It directly squirts, fuel and air and crap to the engine, unless it's air. I mean, it's fuel. It's backfiring. Backfiring doesn't really occur. Just the part, because it's after the throttle valve. That's why you can't have backfire if it's not even if you don't have a flame front. That could occur because of a hot spot in your intake, because it doesn't even touch the intake. It goes straight after the valve and into the intake part of the cylinder. Alright, a full authority electronic engine control. EEC is a system that receives all of the necessary data for engine operation, and let's go see that one. Develops the commands of various actuators to control engine parameters. I've never seen that before, but that's turbine stuff. Alright, what corrective action should be taken when a carburetor is found to be leaking fuel from the discharge nozzle? You need to replace the needle valve and seat immediately. They didn't see immediately, but I wanted to say that for effect. Right. What factor is not used in the operation of an aircraft gas turbine engine fuel control unit? Mixture control something. All right. A non-cylinder radial. Whatever. It's 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. It's A. A non-cylinder radial engine using a multiple point priming system with a central spider will prime with which cylinders? A. What method is ordinarily used to make idle speed adjustments on a float type? I know you can make idle speed and mixture control adjustments on all these carburetors, whether it be float, injection, and then the not the direct, whatever that injecting. I can't even think of it. Anyway, an adjustable throttle stopper linkage. All I'm saying is on cars you can't. Most of the newer cars that have all this electronic stuff, you can't adjust the idle or mixture. You just, if you try, you're gonna screw stuff up. It'd be like take it to the dealer and they use all their electronic. What do they use? You know, multimeter. I mean, come on. Anyway, it's getting hot in here. If an aircraft engine is equipped with a carburetor that is not compensated for altitude and temperature variations, the fuel-air mixture will become. It's not compensated for, so I'm going to say leaner as either altitude or temperature increases. But I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I am wrong. As an aircraft engine is equipped with a carburetor that is not compensated for at altitude and temperature, the fuel-air mixture will become. I didn't think this through. I got the right answer before. It become richer because of less oxygen. Richer as either the altitude or temperature increases. The fuel metering force of the conventional float type carburetor and its normal operating range is the difference between the pressure acting on the discharge nozzle located within the Venturi and pressure acting on the fuel in the float chamber. That's the answer. They're wanting for acting on the fuel in the float chamber. Alright. Question number 28. 71 to go. Are you ready? 1 hour, 1 minute. My computer might shut off. Not computer. My video camera might shut off, but you know, I'll just plug it into the charger. Here we go. Detonation occurs when the fuel-air mixture burns too fast. What is the purpose of the carburetor accelerating system? Carburetor accelerating system. I believe that's when you open the throttle. It supply and regulate fuel required for engine speeds above idle. Maybe. Temporarily enrich the mixture when the throttle is suddenly open. It's that one. Supply and regulate additional fuel required for engine speeds above cruising. No, it's B. Temporarily enriches the mixture because when you press this aircraft stuff. But if you're on a car, when you press the gas pedal, if you press it down really quickly, well, you have a different type of direct fuel injection. But say if you had an old car or whatever, a float type carburetor. If you had a carburetor, you pressed real hard on the gas really quickly, a sudden acceleration, and you didn't have an accelerating system